A very happy evening to everybody. And we have gone through 3 days. Today is the fourth day, and it has been a pleasure for me to present this Darshan Shastra to you. You know, we have been in different spaces. Whatever spaces you have been, it is good. Okay, leave that, and slowly, you'll see that it will start unfolding in you. That is the way the Sankhya opens up for you. Sankhya is pure technology. It is pure intelligence. It does not talk anything about sadhana at all. But sadhana will be useful to us to bring on to the track. We have lost our way, but through sadhana, if we can come on the way, then Sankhya makes it much easier to progress. Friends, I know it has not been easy, even for me, to present this technology. Because I'm also a novice, kind of novice, who got excited, became enthusiastic about it, and really went deep into the Shastras purely out of curiosity. Now I am bitten by that curiosity, and I am not going to leave it until I explore it fully. It has got a very good scientific interface, and basically trained in science. I find it very appealing. Today I'll just run through the basic fundamentals so that whatever is disconnect, a possibility to connect each of these concepts. Okay. So people who are on mic, please can you please mute it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. So first, we were looking at the model of evolving consciousness from non-material to material, from consciousness to matter. So creation is from an energy process. Even before an energy process, it is a unmanifest process, moves into an energy process, and comes down to manifestation. Manifestation, that is gross material. Among the gross material is material of the earth, and even our body is gross. So we looked at two realisms. One is Prakriti, the other is Purusha. Now, the proposed philosophy is, or the ideology behind this, the technology behind this is, the world has come into effect because of Prakriti. Prakriti is pure matter. So we looked at it as a creative energy, contains all knowledge of the universe. So there are so many other aspects. And one thing we should not forget is about gunas, which will be there throughout our life, throughout material creation. Okay. And that includes our body. And until we are liberated, we will continuously be in this way of gunas. The other is the most interesting part, which we must focus on 100%, zero in on, and that is the Purusha. That is what who we are all, as individual Purushas. We are pure consciousness. We are pure consciousness. Now, when I may say pure consciousness, you'll be wondering, oh God, it's not my experience. But at the last concluding part, I'll be giving a small demonstration. But how we can pierce concentration and consciousness through our intellect and be in awe with that. And the more you dwell in it, consciousness becomes more and more conscious to you. Okay? Right now, there's a veil. There's a veil of our own impression, our own knowledge that covers it up and occupies the space of experiencing consciousness. So that will come a little later. So we have looked at Purusha and Prakriti. Okay? So how did the creation happen? Purusha disturbs Prakriti. When Purusha comes in proximity of Prakriti, Rajas gets activated, and the first stage of manifestation is Mahat. Mahat, which is also called as Buddhi. Okay? Now, Mahat is predominantly Sattva. Why I'm telling this? Because creation very close to the unmanifest is pure sattva. And down the line, it gets into several combinations of the other two gunas, that is the rajas and tamas. But rajas is one thing which activates, initiates this revolutionary process, evolutionary process. Okay. And what comes next is ahankar. Ahankar is any manifestation of intelligence has to happen through an identity. Otherwise, manifestation cannot take place. So mahat leads to ahankar. Ahankar is the next evolution. So it has. So right now we are an expression of ahankar, I-ness and minus, as the human ego. At the level of consciousness, as a living being, ahankar is expressed as our ego. So we also look at how prana comes in and how it blends, how mahat activates gunas and blends it completely with ahankar. So ahankar now actually it further evolves. As a result of rajas and sattva, you get the subjective stream and the material stream. So along the subjective stream, predominantly sattva, what we have is the evolution or the evolutes of five organs of perception. See, identity has to interact with the world. It has to sense the world. So it has to carry some apparatus, some objects or some contrivance or a device which interacts with the world. Because material transformation or the interaction of the consciousness with the world cannot happen until there is a reception of impulses from the outside world. So again, consciousness, ahankar has to move, it has to go, it has to be mobile, either to experience or to manifest or to create or be part of the world. So we have the five organs of action and we have the central manas. Manas is like a CPU. It combines, compiles, and systematizes this knowledge and presents it to the ahankar, to the individual. It's like I have a laptop here, you know, mind is like that. It carries all the information and I work on it as an ahankar, as an individual, and it gives me what it has, and so that I can use that. So ahankar presents it to buddhi. It is this the central uh, value system, you can say, or the intelligence system, which tells you how to go about further to manifest. So there is a continuous stream. So under the so okay. So we call the sattvic stream as an organic universe and tamasic stream as a inorganic universe, pure matter. Now, one of the important things that we we looked at is the creation of tanmatras. One thing after Mahat that impressed me in the entire technology was the tanmatras. In my view, in my understanding, tanmatras actually help us to interact with the world. This is what presents the world to us. In the absence of tanmatras, there is no world. Why? Because the senses develop the power to sense only through the power given by the tanmatras. So, a living being like you and me, we can experience the world of objects, names and objects through the tanmatras. The tanmatras were not there, none of us can experience light. The rest of it is an apparatus to receive the tanmatras. And the other aspect of tanmatras is this is a point of speculation. This is a point where all of us could do some research. I have not found how Kapili Muni gave this. We all can speculate on it. That the tanmatra of sound creates Akash. Before proceeding further, let me state that Samkhya believes there is nothing like space. There is nothing like emptiness. Sankhya does not accept emptiness. That's what I have got from the literature that I surveyed. So everything is a manifestation. Everything is a material manifestation. And just because we do not see something, we call it as emptiness. So Mola Prakriti is also, even though it is avyakta, it is not emptiness like Buddhists claim. So sound creates Akash. And inside Akash, every other manifestation. So the tanmatras of touch, vision, taste, smell. You see the mystery, how to catch the tanmatras, manifestation happens to receive these tanmatras and get energized. That is how senses work. So from touch, vision, taste, and smell, the entire Panchabhutas, the Panch Mahabhutas are created. And everything else that is material in the world is composed of these five Panchabhutas. And because of this Panchabhutas, interaction of the Panchabhutas as body, as mind, as the matter form outside, we experience pain and pleasure. This is where Purusha gets entangled with pain and pleasure. Any pleasure that we take, it is never lasting. It leaves its pain ultimate. The first laddu is very interesting to eat. It is very tasty. You want one more. But if somebody forces to keep on eating laddus, the 11th laddu you will vomit. That is the experience of the world. There is an element wherein you get satiated, beyond which you cannot enjoy. So there is a limit to pleasure, and also we also reach the limits of pain. So Sankhya is all about liberating yourself from pain. It also talks about the three kinds of pain: Adi, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika. Some of you may be familiar with this. Adhyatmika is something with respect to your body and mind, which is intrinsic. It causes suffering. And Adi Bhautika is what pains you get from society. Interaction with people, riots, that is Adi Bhautika. So this is society, the world outside. And Adi Daivika is something we do not have control. That is floods, earthquakes. And it is said the suffering that you experience through your own mind, suffering you experience existentially, is also Adi Daivika. I will not go much into it because I want to throw this discussion, throw open the discussion quite early. So the whole emphasis of Sankhya is consciousness was never entangled. It was never, it was always free. It looks like a paradox, but it got misidentified with limitation. Like we looked at yesterday, if somebody were to present you with a mirror and you have never seen your face earlier, and if the mirror produces distortions, you would 100% believe what you see. And you would go around in the world thinking that is what you are. So we are at different level of consciousness of who we are, and we confirm it that as the ultimate stamp of reality. Right now, whoever you are, a scientist, man, woman, various positions that you have, intrinsically, existentially, that is what you think you are. But sometimes accidentally you stumble upon something, a kind of experience that you are not all this. And that is the growth of viveka. That is when your discriminating faculty becomes sharpened. Your buddhi gets sharp, which we'll look at it a little later. And then you see glimpses of your own individuality, not arrested, not imprisoned by something outside. It is pristine, pure, unalloyed. So that is what we are looking at. So the concept of Sankhya is, as Purusha, we were always liberated, never entangled. But only thing is, we have a misconception by wrong identification with the evolutes that we are that. We think we are the body, we think we are the mind, and we think we are the kind of intellectual standing we have in life. But one day all of this goes, what remains is called this as. So we have looked at Prakriti and Purusha. So the whole, so what Prakriti says, the entire world is Prakriti. You are Prakriti. You are matter. You are not at Purusha. You are not at full realization of Purusha. But everything gets enlivened. Everything gets excited, energized in the presence of Purusha. You can say that Purusha gives Chaitanya to the material world. It shines all through. Without this consciousness, there cannot be an experience of life. It is life experience. It is experience. It is life itself. Okay. So, but Purusha is not part of nature. It is not part of Prakriti. It is standalone consciousness. So we see Prakriti has got the capability of acting. It is all powerful, but has no purpose of its own. It is blind. Whereas Purusha has purpose. It has got value. It has meaning. It cannot do things by itself. It is lame. So the whole process of evolution is wherein Prakriti is used by Purusha to move out of liberation, move out of bondage. That's this whole story. Purusha was and always will be liberated, but it is under an illusion by misidentification with the evolutes of Prakriti. So it uses Prakriti to get out of this delusion. Okay. Yeah. So well, let's look at conclusion. Okay. We learned about our entanglement with nature. Body, which is ultimately composed of the Panchabhutas, is what gives us pleasure and pain. Mind, which is this tool of perception, which is contaminated by the gunas, the sway of the gunas. No, it doesn't keep the mind stable. It is like the uh, 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 ripples in a lake. It does ahankar, the I amness that is possessive, the I amness that is wrong. A wrong identification is what it is. But the true I amness is with Purusha. It is with consciousness. But this gets contaminated by misidentification with the world of objects. So buddhi is the ideological system. At the level of Prakriti, it is the intelligent system that manifests in the universe and which we access it in the process of evolution. But according to Samkhya, according to Prakriti, everything is material. It is a manifestation of material. So there is not a bit of consciousness there, but it is consciousness which actually gives energy. It gives purpose for the entire evolution. It gives purpose to nature or Prakriti. So we are actually conscious. Now I'm opening the Pandora's box. Easily said than done. See, our apprehension of the world is through the senses. That is what we call it as real. It's a state of, ignorance. But when you elevate yourself, when you pierce through this ignorance by fully dwelling on the concepts of Sankhya, you come to a kind of awareness. Yeah, there is something beyond it, beyond what we are, beyond consciousness, beyond the experience of the world. It is consciousness that enlivens everything. I am repeating it here. Consciousness is not part of body, mind, and consciousness pervades and illumines body, mind. It is not limited by body. It is more known by the function of the body. Without body consciousness, it is not known, but it is there. Friends, I want to give you a sense of this. Okay. I hope I do a good job in this. So I must credit this explanation to several saints of the Ramakrishna Mutt, who explains it through Advaita, with Advaita Vedanta. See, it is consciousness that enlivens everything. But what does mind say, or modern science say? It is through the functioning of the brain, it is through the functioning of the neurons. There is a set of chemical reaction, you know, and that gives you a sense of consciousness. It is more biological. That is more close to science. It is acceptable, okay, to the scientists. But I want to give the illustration of consciousness. Friends, if you see, I am under light. Let us say this is consciousness. Light is consciousness. It enlivens everything. But actually, how do you know there is light? You cannot see light. But it enlivens my body. See, if I show you my hand, it enlivens my hand. So it is because of light I can see the hand. But my body is not light, but light enlivens the body. Now we say consciousness pervades everything. And I am going to tell that consciousness is not limited to the body. See, our experience of consciousness is it is inside the body. It is limited inside the body, but it is actually outside the body and also inside the body. For example, when you look at my hand, consciousness or light falls on my hand, it enlivens my hand. At the same time, wherever there is not my hand, that light is also there. It means that consciousness is beyond body. It enlivens everything. So, but how do I know there is light around? We come to the point, it is not limited by the body, but known by function of the body. Because of my hand, you get a perception there is light. The hand is not there, you will not perceive light. Now I take away my hand. Consciousness is still there, but your body is not there. But the body that enlivens consciousness is not. Okay. So so we have illustrated that your body is enlivened by consciousness. It is what gives you. How you can see it is a manifestation of consciousness. It's consciousness that pervades everywhere as Purusha, which gives enlivens or gives presence to the body. And also, it is beyond the body. It is not limited to the body, like the illustration I gave you of the hand. And when you take away the hand, that means when you die, when the body does not exist, consciousness is still there. But you may have a question here. If I am consciousness, if I pervade, that is the quality of consciousness. How is that I am not conscious when the body is not there? That is one question which I cannot answer now, nor can you answer it. Only when you die you may know it. But a realized soul experiences this state of consciousness by continuously contemplating on consciousness, so that consciousness he is able to go beyond his body experience and directly touch consciousness. I don't know how well I'm doing this to explain it to you. Consciousness is everything. Consciousness pervades everything. And that is who you are. Okay? Like yesterday, I mentioned an example how simple focus on this aspect of consciousness itself, which I think is the essence of Samkhya. See, Samkhya only tells keep on contemplating on it. Do wuha, inquire, keep on inquiring, keep on inquiring. This is my consciousness. Where am I entangled? Where am I saying I'm not this consciousness, but I'm something else? When you continuously contemplate, what happens is your consciousness, there's some alchemy that happens to you, and that you are in face to face with consciousness. I gave you an example of Nisargadatta Maharaj. He is not an educated man. Okay? He was running his own ancestral BD business. And he met his master, Rameshwar Maharaj. And Rameshwar Maharaj, looking at him, he said, "Hey, he's a very simple, straightforward, innocent guy. What I'll give you one mantra. You just do that. What is it? Anything that you do, anytime you think, whatever you think you are Brahman. You are eating, Brahman is eating. And you are doing something, a Brahman is doing it. Continuously, Nisargadatta Maharaj says, I just dwelled on it and I realized. So it is pure intellectual. The beginning is intellectual, and beyond that, it goes beyond the intellect, and your consciousness takes over. And there is a moment wherein your effort dissolves into realizing your consciousness. That is the purpose of Samkhya. The continuous, it is pure physics. It is like physicists. They cannot do all the big experiments of Big Bang. They cannot do all the experience of fission and fusion, but they pierce the manifestation on the universe of elementary particles. Like Sanjay was mentioning about yogis, through their sadhana, they go to a level wherein their through their consciousness, through their very extremely sharpened buddhi, they are able to see things without using devices. To see something far, we need a telescope. To see something is very small, we need a microscope. Without these instruments, you have a direct perception into what it is. See, this is where we should explore more on the tanmatras. This is my personal view. Tanmatras, if we can consciously work, it is pure physics. And I believe that in the exploration of the tanmatras, you not only get the manifested world, but also work back to know who is this consciousness. Okay? So let us look at some practices that we can adopt. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we have lost our way. We have lost our way. But we must come back on the path. The moment you come back on the path, somebody can show you the distinction. Somebody can show you the way. But till we come to the path, we need some guidance. And once we are on the main highway, progress becomes easy. So this is where sadhana comes. This is where because sadhana helps in to sharpen our intellect, to experience, or compare very close to, to cognizing, I would prefer to say, Purusha. There's nothing beyond that. Okay? Improve our perception through sharpening of the senses. Until you understand the world as it is, not as an opinion, not as knowledge gained from somebody else, unless you are able to perceive the world as it is, as an individual, as a self inquiry, as the source of knowledge, you will not be able to experience what you are not. So, here it is where you have to sharpen your senses. You may take up some exercises wherein you are able to sharpen your senses. What do I mean by this? For example, a musician is able to identify the notes of music much better than us. We may enjoy music, but even if a small mistake is done, the expert musician will be able to identify. Why? Because he's sensitive to sound. He's sensitive to the gaps between sounds and as well as the sound. So similarly, with respect to vision, even though all of us can see, but we cannot minutely see. Example, if you go and look at go to a furniture shop and look at the furniture, you look at the design and come back home, you cannot visualize the design at all. But you saw the design. But if you had taken a carpenter along with you, that fellow takes a look and back home he will draw it for you. Why? Because he has sharpened his senses. He has sharpened his vision. Like that, you can sharpen all the five senses so that you have an experience of yourself and the experience of the world without any gap. Okay. Handle the gunas, heighten sattva balance. Heighten sattva, balance rajas and reduce tamas. Why? Because sattva has got the quality of illumination. Sattva has got the quality of clarity. There's the it has it has the tattva of it has the quality of you know presenting what is as it is. Rajas and tamas will contaminate it, but sattva does contaminate, but it does not contaminate too much. There may be a slight smudge on the mirror, but still you'll be able to see yourself. You can groom yourself with that. So Sankhya adopts continuous inquiry to sharpen buddhi. So what happens is, as you go through the tattvas again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again, see anything that you look again will not be the same. It will go on changing in your perception. But beyond a certain limit, this perception stops. You cannot go beyond that. And that is where you will come face to face. The final, the final element, the final view of what it is. That is reality. You as consciousness are able to see the material world and distinguish yourself from the material world. And that is what we call it as prajna, wisdom. And beyond this is what some people call as, I have no experience of it, they call it as enlightenment. Enlightenment is wherein you see that you are not what you are, but you are somebody else, and that somebody else becomes you, and you have a direct perception of who you are. That is what Raman Maharshi says, I am. Who I am is I am. So a study of Yoga Sutras can help the sadhaka. In fact, after Samkhya, I want you people to look at the Yoga Sutra. There are 195 sutras, beautiful ones. You know, you have the Samadhi Pada, then you have the Sadhana, then you have about mystic experiences, and then liberation. There's about four major chapters. You know, and if you can contemplate on that, now you see that yoga stands on Sankhya. Sankhya is pure knowledge, whereas yoga is a practice. So many times, if you want to experience your body, you must take up a sadhana of running. Then you will see, oh, whatever experience of body you get. Your lungs are on fire, and that is when you have an experience of the body. Okay, or you do some sadhana with your body, you experience the body. Like that, when you take up yoga and take up sadhana, you will see that layer by layer, you will be able to experience yourself at the body level, at the mind level, at the level of consciousness. Patanjali takes you systematically towards several steps of meditation. Okay, he calls it samadhi, absorption into the object of meditation, and then where the object vanishes, you get a glimpse of it. So going through the process of objects, meditating on it is called as dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Dharana is focusing on an object. That means you have a thought on the object, and the same thought remains. That is called focus. And when you focus for some time, when there is an elapse of time between one focus to next focus, it is called dhyana. And after some time and space vanish. You get absorbed in the object. You become the object. And the next stage is when the object also vanishes and the observer also vanishes. And that is another state of samadhi, which it is called as kaivalya, or enlightenment. So a study of Yoga Sutras can help sadhaka. I'm still exploring how we can adopt Sankhya. Now, today, as on date, based on my study and my sadhana, it is a purely intellectual exercise. It is to sharpen your buddhi. It sharpen your buddhi and look at life, look at yourself through the 25 tattvas, you can say, and for the ultimate realization of the Purusha. Okay. So I think with that, I come to the end of this. So thank you very much, friends. Thank you for giving your valuable time. Thank you for trusting me and Sanjay that we will do something useful to each one of you. And I really want to thank each one of you for being present here and supporting this venture. Okay, I feel really delighted. All these 4 days, 3 days, I was unable to sleep with the excitement of presenting this because I know I'll be presenting it to beautiful souls like you. And it is a journey on which we are all together.
Let me thank Dr. Guna because he has done an unbelievable job. I know where he started from Samkhya and how long back he started and what he has come up with. I don't think many people can do that. I also learned a lot of things from him. He gave me a lot of points to think about. He gave me another perspective. We will be sharing the videos of these 4 sessions with all the participants, and also we'll be putting it in the group. We'll also put it up on YouTube so other people can also access. And let us start a chain reaction on this, and let us take this idea to the people. If you have any more ideas or if you need our help to give talks on this subject or presentations in the corporate world or in colleges or some other organizations, let us know. We will be happy to share because unless and until we start creating rajas, action, agitation, motion, change, the juggernaut will not move. India is a big country. We have to really shake it up. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and hope you have learned a lot and enjoyed the 4 day program by Dr. Guna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Buddha.
Thank you, both of you, sir. Thank you.